Hello. Growing increasingly frustrated with the oil leak on the Gulf Coast, I took some time today to try and come up with a possible solution to cap the leak on the failed blowout preventer. Here's a small model that I've made, and I'm now going to come in a little close with the camera and do a small demonstration. This area would represent the failed blowout preventer, and what I feel is the key to solving this problem. This area right here is a pipe flange. This pipe flange appears to be in perfect condition, and in my opinion would be the only way of solving this problem. The idea I've come up with would start out with building a specialized cap that will be able to attach itself to this pipe flange. The cap would look something like this and would have 3 levels inside. The first level would be completely flush, that would marry on to this pipe flange, which appears to be in fine condition. If we could figure out a way to, let's represent this as the pipe flange, and this as the very first stage of the cap, for it to come right on top of that pipe flange, marry onto it, and keep it nice and in plane with the blowout preventer. The cap could then have a second stage. The second stage would be a cutting thread. This cutting thread, or what we would call a die, would probably be about 27 or 28 inches. That can start to cut a thread onto this flange atop the failed blowout preventer. The third stage, after the cutting die, would have to be a regular pipe thread. That would sit at the highest point in the cap, a regular pipe thread. This assembly would have to be lowered down by a drill ship right on top of the failed blowout preventer. As it goes down, as I explained, the first stage would have to just marry the two up, keeping them in plane with each other. The pipe flange and this cutting head. Once they're in plane, the drill rig could then start to operate. When it starts to operate, cutting a thread onto that existing pipe flange. Once that thread starts getting cut, this drill rig would then go up to the third part of this cap. So the first stage would be just to marry the two together, a flush ring. The second stage would be a large pipe die to start to cut that thread onto the pipe flange. And the third stage of this would be an actual cap pipe thread. After those 3 stages went through, this flush ring here would no longer be flush on the pipe flange. It would now be threaded, just like that. The drill ship would have by this point turned on this entire cap. At no point, by the way, would the cap have come off during this assembly. It would start out with the first flush ring, lining it up, putting it in plane. The second stage of this head would be a large pipe die, and the third stage would be a large pipe thread. At this point, the drill ship can detach, leaving this cap in place. Obviously, the cap would not have a hole in the top of it. With that system, although the pressures would be great at 5,000 feet of seawater, the pressure from the oil coming up and the pressure of 5,000 feet would probably, I don't know to what degree, would start to equalize each other. So the pressures either way would no longer be that great. This, I believe, is the solution. This would work. This would cap the well. This would stop the flow of oil. There is little question in my mind that this is the solution. Thank you very much for taking time to watch the video.